Okay, so in this video we're going to look at problems 14 through 16. If you were unable to complete problem 14, after the first problem is completed, I'd recommend turning the video off and then complete the other two problems and then check your work. So last class we talked about the fact that there was a law signed in 1990 by President Bush that required wheelchair ramps that are used to exit a building have a ratio of 1 to 12 or a 4.8 degree angle. So if I want to find this missing height, I will be using the fact that the ratio between these two sides here has to be the same decimal value as 1 to 12. So you can use this problem as a scale factor, or I tend to do these problems as proportions. So x goes to 1 as corresponding sides, as 102 goes to 12. The nice thing about setting the problem up this way is that x to 1, or x divided by 1 is just simply x, and so the value of x is the answer to 102 divided by 12, which is 8.5 or 8.5 inches. So that's the answer to this problem here, 8.5 inches. So if you didn't complete this problem, or as well as the other two, I would suggest turning the video off and see if you can complete the other two. All right, so in this problem here, again, if I use the 1 to 12 triangle again, which is a 4.8 degree angle for both of these, if I pair up corresponding sides, the 12.7 goes to the 1, as the x goes to the 12. So if I set up a proportion, it's going to be 12.7 to 1, as x goes to 12. Now this time, x divided by 12 is not going to be x, only x divided by 1 is. So this time we need to cross multiply. So x times 1 is one side, and then 12 times 12.7 is the other side. So x times 1 is x, and 12 times 12.7 is 152.4 inches. And then the third one, again, if I set up a 1 to 12 slope triangle again with a 4.8 degree angle, pair up corresponding sides, so the x goes to the 1 and the 138 goes to the 12. The proportion will be x over 1 is equal to 138 over 12. Again, like the first problem, I have x divided by 1, which is x. So x has an answer of 138 divided by 12. And if you stick that in your calculator, you will get 11.5 inches. So on problem 15, you're being asked to explain whether or not any ramp with a 4.8 degree angle, slope angle, that the slope ratio between the rise and run is going to be 1 to 12. And then they reversed it. If I have a triangle with a slope ratio of 1 to 12, should the slope angle be 4.8 degrees? So in both cases, the answer is yes, because that actually is the slope triangle that we've been using for the last couple of classes. The ratio is 1 to 12, and when the ratio is 1 to 12, this angle here, which is called the slope angle, is 4.8 degrees. So to kind of explain why the answer is yes, is because if I would make this height go higher than 1, if I pull up this direction, that means the angle here, the slope angle, would have to increase, because I'm pulling this up, which means this angle here is getting bigger. Or if I pulled it down so that I'm here, for example, then that means the angle itself is going to have to decrease, because the angle in here is not as big as the angle here. So for the 1 to 12 ratio, there's only one angle possible, which is the 4.8 degrees. So if I have a sloped angle of 4.8, we know the ratio is 1 to 12, and vice versa. If I know that I have a slope of 1 to 12, then the slope angle has to be 4.8. Keep in mind that when we use the word slope angle, that implies the triangle is a right angle, or right triangle. So keep that in mind. So you're going to move on back to your outline. You're going to move on to the next lesson. And so there's a video for that lesson, and there's also, you need your workbook. Your teacher will be providing you a handout that goes with page 132 for lesson 2. And then when you finish lesson 2, which is like, I think 3 problems long, then you'll move on to lesson 3. And again, you'll need your workbook, you'll get a handout for that lesson, and again, you'll watch the video that goes with that lesson. Again, there's about, I think, 3 problems. There's multiple steps in each of those problems, but it's 3 problems in all. Please complete both lessons in class. If you don't get lesson 2 or lesson 3 done, then please take your workbook home and complete the problems, the lesson home, using the videos in Canvas. I'll take any questions you guys have over the 3 videos on our next class, or during our next class.